Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the upcoming systems, the one that's going to happen in the coming days, and then some potential ones after that that could bring snowstorms, severe weather, and potentially ice. So yeah, I've talked about this in the previous videos, but there's a lot of changes and just a lot of stuff to update you on, guys, because obviously the models change a lot, and this could be a pretty big system. So without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to start with the GFS that actually just finished loading. So right now, hour 0, obviously nothing too crazy. But then around hour 75, hour 69, we do see on Monday the 20th, that low pressure starts to get its act together. And really what that's going to do is obviously it's going to set the stage for this upcoming system that we do see is starting to bring snow around the Midwest, Northeast, Mid-Atlantic areas. Sorry. And then it's going to bring rain and severe weather to the southeast. Now that's going to start a little bit before in Texas, but actually the Texas severe weather has been downtrending and been uptrending kind of for the southeast. So we do still have that 15% for the southeast. That's now day 4. It's a little bit more west and north, but still still the same risk. But the Texas one has been downgraded to a marginal. Also, sorry for the throat sounds. I have something in my throat. Anyway, moving on. As we move towards hour 100, so this is a 22nd, we do see that the system starting to move across the central and eastern Gulf with a lot of rain, heavy rain even up to the mid-Atlantic, and even some snow. So obviously that's going to move along the coast. So obviously the GFS isn't really showing as much like big snowfall event as it previously showed for this system, but obviously this is one run and a lot could change, so we'll really see what's going to happen. But as we move towards hour 144, that dip, obviously I'm not going to show the dip again because it's pretty much the same thing, obviously, and by the dip I mean that jet stream dip on the 500 MB parameter. Yeah, we don't need to show that again, but anyway, by previous videos, I mean. But anyway, moving on, we do see that another system is starting to form around hour 144, and really it's starting to form in southern Texas. So that's gonna not really get its act together. It will mainly be a Texas threat and could cause stuff on the coastal Gulf, but it's really going to become a threat around hour 171, where we do see widespread rainfall, potentially severe weather if the instability is there, and really that's going to move north, cause some storms into the northeast, where we do see a lot of snowfall, and that's going to move north. So finally, we're going to go to this past hour 240, so past 10 days. So this is kind of the long range, but still stuff to watch. We do see another snowfall event around Pennsylvania right here. So it's actually a lot of the mountains, Pennsylvania, and parts of New York. And then that's going to move, offshore. And then we do see another system, and really this is far out, but I find it interesting. We do have another system that moves on shore, and we do see a lot of rain across the Gulf Coast states. And if we have instability, this could definitely cause some kind of severe weather event if the conditions are right. And that's going to move along, and we do see some pretty big system that, like I said, the pattern is going to start bringing severe weather to the coast. We do see heavy rain and for a lot of Florida, and a lot of this heavy rain goes up into northern Georgia and Alabama, and if the instability is there, that could cause some severe weather. And then even more snow for places like Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, that's where it shows it, as you can see. And as the system moves along, we do see the rain heading north, and really it's going to cause the snowfall. You see it's much more isolated, but it's still there, and we could see some freezing rain, so that's part of the ice threat. Mainly more isolated, the ice threat, but still something to watch. But and then this system is going to move north and off the coast. So yeah, that's really going to be something not really to go crazy about, but still something to watch with a grain of salt. So in terms of total precipitation, with this first system, we could see upwards of 1 to 2 inches widespread now, Louisiana, Mississippi, into northern Alabama. We do see that heavy rainfall, and Texas, you see really not as much as it was, but yeah, I'm gonna choose a different color because yeah, there you go. And then yeah, obviously it's gonna start moving in the Gulf Coast states towards the East Coast. So it's going to die down a lot, but we do see, like I said, towards the East Coast, up here in New Jersey, the Mid-Atlantic, we do see areas of even up to about 2 inches isolated. So that's really going to be something to watch. And then as we move past that, we see another system that brings rain totals across the states 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches and widespreadly, and isolated amounts of over 2.5 inches. And then we see up to 6 inches total over this 384 hours due to that one system. It's not going to be a total of 6 inches of rain, but we see here, for example, so the blue colors show between 1/2 an inch and just below an inch of rain. So we do see there, it's about half of maybe 6/7 of an inch. It goes up to 6 inches. So really that's over 5 inches of rain. So still, that system is still to take with a grain of salt, but it is definitely still something to watch. Sorry about that throat clearing, but whatever. Moving on. So we do see for snowfall totals, that first system does have some snowfall across the northern United States towards New England, northeast United States, but we're not really seeing too much anymore as we did. So as we move past that, we do see the snow totals in that second system are bringing up isolated amounts up to 26 inches of snow total. So it's not obviously in one system, but it brings it up there. So obviously a lot of snow there. And then, again, sorry. But anyway, then we, in parts of North Carolina towards the Rocky Mountains, we do see up to 12 inches of snow in some areas. And we also have to look at that freezing rain potential, the ice potential, because obviously, if you're going to have that, it's definitely something to watch. So, in that first system, we could have up to, say, maybe even up to an inch, maybe a little bit over an inch of freezing rain / ice, isolated amounts of over an inch, obviously, but still, no matter the amount, freezing rain is very dangerous. So we definitely do see that. And then the GFS shows over an inch of freezing rain. So obviously that's going to make the roads very slippery. And while we're getting out there, it's definitely something to watch, especially we see Pennsylvania, New York, places like that. So definitely something to definitely watch. And then past that, if we continue to go, we don't really see much until that third system, where we do see up to 1/2 an inch, 3/4 of an inch of freezing rain. So definitely something to watch there. And in terms of sleet, not really as much sleet, but those systems could cause up to maybe 1/2 an inch of sleet. So not too much sleet, but still, definitely it is possible. And then we're going to go to severe weather. So for this first system, there's really not enough shear to create a lot of severe weather, and the system isn't really going to be strong enough there. But if something changes, there is instability there up to 1500 in Texas, and then obviously GFS isn't really showing much for this first system, but the Cape kind of dies down after the Florida Big Bend. This second system, it could definitely show something for parts of the Florida Peninsula if something were to happen. Let's change that color, and now we're right here. We could see some kind of severe weather event. And then as we move past that to that very last system, the GFS isn't really showing much for instability, but very, very low amounts of instability. If something were to happen, it's something to watch in these areas. But also, just a lot of rain, and because at that point they probably these regions already had sufficient precip from the drought, we could see some flooding, because obviously this winter pattern is going to make a lot of rainfall, obviously, which could definitely lead to flooding. And then we are going to go to the wind shear, and we're going to see for this first system plenty of wind shear. Obviously, this does not directly correlate to severe weather. You need deep level shear. But shear in general is overall favorable for conducted for severe weather throughout this period. But obviously you need deep level shear, so this doesn't exactly correlate to getting tons and tons of severe weather. Because obviously you need instability. But yeah. Next, and we're gonna go to the ECMWF real quick, and then the Canadian model, and they're interesting right now. So we're gonna change parameters so we can see snowfall. So the ECMWF does show that first system obviously causing a lot of rain across the southeast and a little bit of snow into the northeast, but not too much. And then we have some snow across places like Kansas and Nebraska into Iowa, Michigan, not Michigan, Wisconsin, and very extreme northern Illinois. And that's due to a low pressure, and that's a horrible L draw. But yeah, and then it's going to bring heavy rain and some snow into Maine potentially, where we see freezing rain. And then we do see another system, which definitely, if it's right, could cause some severe weather and snowstorms, or just snow in general for all you snow lovers. So, rain potential hasn't really changed too much on the ECMWF, but in terms of snow totals, and we're going to go to the end here, we do see, for that first system, we do see across the central United States, we do see upwards of 5-6 inches widespread up into Michigan, starting in Kansas and Nebraska, where in Kansas and Nebraska, we have widespread amounts of over 6 inches of snow, and even an extreme western Nebraska and extreme northwest Kansas, we do see amounts of over 12 inches. And then we see towards Maine, with all those systems, in Maine, we could have up to 40 inches of snow. Now, obviously, we can't say for sure, but that would definitely not be too good. And then we have in northern New York, New Hampshire, and Vermont, we do have isolated amounts of up to 2 feet and widespread amounts of over 12 inches in total. So obviously, throughout all these snowstorms, there's going to be a lot of snow to watch. And in terms of severe weather, we for this first system, it doesn't really show too much. We do have some Cape going into the Florida Big Bend and Texas and southern Georgia, Alabama, but not really too much. And same thing past that, not too much. But in terms of just thunderstorms in general, we do see a lot of lightning, but obviously it's kind of back down on the more eastern states for in terms of thunderstorms and severe weather. So overall, ECMWF is kind of backing off on that severe weather. And then finally, we're going to go to the Canadian model, which if I can click on it. So on the Canadian model, we do see the low pressure bringing a lot of rain across the southeast and not too much snow. And then it doesn't really show too much after that. The Canadian model is actually showing a lot more than the ECMWF yesterday, but now I guess it's really not. In terms of Cape instability, it's not really showing too much anymore. But actually, it's actually now showing a lot in Texas and Oklahoma, it turns out. And then it brings a good amount into Florida, and then southern Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana. So definitely backing up that severe threat, and then kind of backs off. And in terms of winter snow amounts, we go to the end here. Not too much, but we definitely are going to have, obviously, a lot over the mountains and some snow in Nebraska and Kansas, upwards of 1 to 2 inches. So I wouldn't really say, I would really say that it would probably be more, but say it's still November, and if you like snow, I think you'll be happy. Now, in terms of severe weather, the highest threats are definitely going to be wind, damaging winds, tornadoes, stuff like that. And really, other than that, there is not too much to look at. If y'all have any actual requests of what's going to happen in these upcoming systems over the next coming weeks, I can be more specific. Please ask in the comment section. But other than that, not too much. I might have another video coming up later tonight on the tornado season. if y'all would like that, and I really would like to do one of those videos. But yeah, not too much. I mean, if we look at the Canadian Extended, specifically the Canadian model, because it's the only one that has like snowfall parameters and stuff where you can actually look at precipitation totals. If y'all want to see this, it's kind of interesting what the Canadian model is showing, because obviously it's not really showing too much for the upcoming days, and really it's kind of keeping snow more north for the next 32 days. So that's actually pretty interesting. And in terms of precipitation, it does show obviously a lot of precipitation across the southeast, up the east coast, and pretty much a lot less in the northern north central United States and Midwest. So obviously that's definitely reflecting the upcoming pattern. But really, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I might make a video later. We'll see. But but as you see, I've been posting daily, pretty long videos, scripted videos that I hope help you guys out. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great night and goodbye, guys.